you know, you're just my favorite. You have such a bubbling disposition, just positive all the time. Such an inspiration. So well liked.
Like, I don't know how your audiences don't even figure out who this person is that you're talking to. So I don't know if you're going to do like a little something later on. People don't know me.
Everybody knows you.
No.
I don't know anybody that doesn't know you. You're a superstar. But go ahead. How you want to introduce yourself?
My name is William Carroll. I'm from the hamlet of Camilla, Georgia, which is in the heart of Southwest Georgia. And that's where I like to start from.
Well, then, we will add that.
So the other thing I want to do is I want to tell you thank you, because you gave me like an extreme compliment. I've known you now for over 30 years. I mean, not like known, but I've known of you for over 30 years. You've known me
for over 30 years, yeah.
Yeah. So,
do you want to talk about how me and my friends came to you?
I would love to do that. So everybody who knows you gets a chance to know the type of person that you were versus the type of person that you are now. The sophisticated woman of our town.
First of all, I had nothing to do with that. I did not know where we were going. I did not know you. I did not know where you lived. I was just going with the flow because, just a free flowing person. Mm-hmm. I was just going with the flow, and my friend, and I would not call it a name, suggested that we go to your house. It was all her plan. I had nothing to do with it. Me and the other friend, who I also won't call her name, they know who they are. We were not a part of the plan, which I actually ended up getting into a lot of trouble on several occasions going with the flow with that particular friend. But anyway, so that's our caveat before you begin your story. So go ahead.
It's that our parents would say, so if your friends jump off a bridge, you going to jump with them?
It just took me a long time to realize whenever I was with, I was going to get into some trouble.
But apparently it was good trouble. I was about to say good trouble because clearly.
Yeah.
And all three of y'all are still alive. So,
and doing well. And we're doing well.
So.
All right. How did we meet?
Very interesting. For the listening audience who might not know, my family owns a funeral home in my hometown. And
go ahead and give a shout out to your funeral home as well.
Oh, I didn't know we could do product plugs and stuff. Robert Justin Mortuary in Camilla, Georgia. Please, come see us. We'll be dying to have
bring a body.
Yeah, please. You kill them, we chill them. You stab them, we back. Cut them, we gut them. Come on. Come through. Come through. Come through with the dead center of town. Come on.
Can't miss them. Been in business for how many years?
We're going on 100. With it next year, the year after, I get confused on the time, but it's been around for a while. My great grandfather, and then my father, now my mom, and she has her way. Me.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is it in the works for you to kind of take it and run with it, and to pass it on?
Yeah, all of those things and the stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful, though. In all seriousness, I love family businesses. I love legacies. I love having things in the family for generations after generations. I love that. A lot of times, though, when your great grandfather and your father kind of build something, a lot of times the kids, they don't want that. Like, that's not their heart's desire. That's not their passion. And the parents are wanting them to have that, wanted to carry on his legacy. But what I found out, even with me and the event venue that I own, my kids wanted nothing to do with it. There was no need for me to try to pressure them into taking that business over. And going forward, any business that I have in the future, because I'm past my massage license, massage therapy test. I get my little plug.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you. So even with that business, I'm not going to try to pass that on to my kids, because I learned then, I tried to get them involved. They had no passion. So as much as I love family legacy, I really had to realize that's my passion, not theirs. But anyway, okay, continue. I interrupted you.
It's fine. Family business across the street from the house where I grew up in. And anybody who is a frequent visitor of our house knows that coming through the garage is the way that people who are familiar with us come to. Anybody that comes to any other door is a stranger. That's just the easy way to put it.
What door did we come to?
You came to the front door. You came to
Yes, we
the
did.
front door and brazenly, rang the doorbell. To which I went to open the door and ask, who is it? Because even in that day and time, it was still important to get an assessment of who it was that was at your door.
Right.
I opened the door and there were 3 young ladies standing outside, and I'm told that, your dad told us to come over here.
Okay, but let's for the record, was I one of the people that actually said that your dad told us to come over there?
I didn't confirm nor deny that.
No, I wasn't. And just for the record, we did not know what the story was going to be until the story started unfolding. Mm-hmm. We did not know there was going to be a story at all. So we were just really like following. I'm not saying I'm a follower, but back then I was following a lot.
Isn't that kind of like almost the definition of following? Being a follower?
I said was. Now I lead a little bit more, or either I just be like, nah, that don't feel right. That don't feel right. Meter just wasn't on. It wasn't intact. But anyway, okay, I keep interrupting the story. Continue.
So these 3 young ladies asked to come into the house. They needed, was it water that y'all
Probably water. We was thirsty for water.
Now, my parents were more specifically, my mom was like, nobody's allowed in the house without us being here. No one. So once again, to have someone say, hey, your dad told us to come over here. Hey, your dad told us that we could come in the house did not jive. So, even though I was not a good son because I let you all in the house. And
you actually come in?
Y'all actually came in. Yes, because you were the last person to walk out.
I thought you didn't put us in.
I mean, y'all came in through the front door and you were right there at the door.
Okay, right there. Because we didn't come all the way in.
No,
we just stood to the door and talk.
Mm-hmm.
You what?
I was agreeing with you. You didn't go past that. And so it was. I'm knowing that okay, these people are not telling the truth. They don't look dangerous, but it's like okay, let's see. So I'm listening to the story and literally the story because it wasn't the truth. It's just like all right, and so I hear the door at the garage, and I was like, okay, well, y'all have to go now because I can see like my mom is coming in. So thank you all for coming.
Did your mom see us at the front door?
She didn't. But just know, I was real nervous. Like, how am I going to explain 3 women being in this house? So no, I got you all out just in time. And I'll just say you made a very long-lasting impression on me because I didn't remember anybody else's name but yours. And then years go by, and I end up in college with your sister, excuse the light. And I was just like, wait a minute. I was like, do you know Colette? She was like, that's my sister. I was like, really? And so from there, I just kept up and was just like, oh, she's doing this. Oh, she's doing that. Like, this is great. Let me tell you what your sister did. So anybody who I knew that knew you, they all got the story.
Well, listen, I hope that if you're going to be bashing my name out in these streets, I really just want you to add to the story. I know it's 30 years later. I would like you to add to the story that I did not tell the story. Once we arrived, I was there. I was present, but I was quietly listening to the story that you were listening to. So I just think you and I really was in the same boat that day, really. You heard the story for the first time. I also heard the story for the first time.
Okay.
So
I can agree with that part, that we both heard for the first time together.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate that. So now that we have cleared that, going forward, I just think that you are just a wonderful person.
Likewise, and thank you.
I love your company. I just love being in your presence. I have the best time. Like whenever we're around each other, and we don't be around each other enough, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But whenever we are around each other, it's just so wonderful. It's so
I
wonderful.
think I would be in better shape if I hung around you more because it's always a dance competition when the two of us get together. Once again, I remember being invited to your sister's birthday
Yes.
and how we became the entertainment. I
We did.
also,
Oh, we're always the entertainment, aren't we?
mhm,
For my
we,
birthday, for my birthday, I had my shoes like behind me like this, flipping around on the dance floor. I think you was on the dance floor,
that's a nice way to put it.
laying down on the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't like it was you fell. You was dancing. So,
Yeah.
and then also at Diane's party, you was so really it's not even me and you. It's really you are the life of the party.
No, it's the combination of the two. Our energy matches, and from that, it's just like okay, we kind of feed off of each other.
Our energy do match. Yeah. We have a good time.
They tell us we have a good time. That's how we
They
know.
do, don't they?
Yeah, y'all had a good time, didn't you? We might have had a good time.
Yes, people like being around us. We have good energy.
Mm-hmm.
We have great energy.
So I'm glad that you got another platform to get a chance to share your energy and people get a chance to get more of who you are. Because you're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We're not going to get to any of this other stuff, are we? We're going to just talk.
We can get there. Go ahead.
We're just going to tell each other how wonderful we are.
And until it makes everybody else sick. Yeah, I mean, you're good with it.
There's nothing wrong with that. We can do that if we want to. You invited me to is it a Republican?
Yes, because my cousin was running for, no, he was running for U.S. congressman. Yeah. So I was invited and I was told, hey, well, why don't you bring a date? I'm like, there's only one person I can think of. And so it's just like, hey, what are you doing? I know that you have the clothes and I know that you know how to behave in said environment because.
But I don't. And you know I did it. You know I didn't. But you invited me back.
Yeah, and then like one of my other cousins who I know that cannot behave in public because this was his brother that was running. We were all at the table together and we were all doing less than what was expected.
We was not acting professional. Your cousin, yeah, I agree. He fit right in with us because, yeah, I think he was talking about people or something, and I wasn't doing that. Oh, he started talking about natural hair. Somebody had a bad natural hair day, and I'm like, hey, I have natural hair. He was like, well, yours is combed or something like that, he said. I think that was a compliment, but anyway.
It was.
But yeah, I have a picture of me cracking up at the table. Now, that was a serious conference. There wasn't any joking around. Nobody was saying anything funny there.
No, it wasn't a conference. It was like one of those events. I think it might have been even a fundraiser where he was like introducing himself to the his constituents or potential constituents. I was there to support my cousin. And because even though he ran and did not win, his brother was a representative from Florida at one point in time. And he ran against the governor in Texas this past year. So he is still in the party and he's still doing well. And yeah, so I love my family.
Awesome.
Now,
didn't we go to something else?
We've gone to a lot of events together. I'm trying to remember. I think that was something in Pelham.
Remember? Oh, we went to Florida.
That was for your birthday, though.
Birthday.
Yeah.
It meant so much to me that you came. That was nice. We had a good time.
I thought about that yesterday, the day before yesterday. The other reason I ended up thinking about it was because my supervisor at the time, I had receipts that we needed for some stuff that we had to get. And I was telling her when I got back, like, yeah, I went to Florida. I was just like, I lost this receipt. And she chewed me out. Like, the next time, you just let that stay there. I was like, no, ma'am. Mm-mm. Because she had the reputation of being a very hard-line, stern person. I was just like, I wasn't trying to do anything to get messed up.
So you got out on the side of the road looking for this receipt?
It was 2-lane highway. Yes, ma'am. I got out. I just crossed the bridge, and I was like, "Oh my God, I gotta find this. I gotta find this." But needless to say, when I was feeling sleepy before that, I woke up after that.
Wow! So you did find it.
I did find it
because you got to Florida pretty late. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I was so happy you was there, and that is where that is where we was on the dance floor, and we really tore up the dance floor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't much to tear up. The floor was kind of interesting. The whole building was interesting. The whole evening was interesting.
It was because it had like different types of music in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We struggled to find that place.
Yeah. I think they was doing line dancing in one area, and
yeah.
Yeah. That was a good night. We had a great time. Yeah, I had my high heel shoes on, my blue shoes.
I couldn't tell you what I had on. I can't tell you what I had on yesterday.
I remember the blue heels, but being on the dance floor with you, you can't have heels on. That's got to go. That has to go. There's no place for heels on the dance floor with you. But anyway, that was a great time. Always a great time. I remember you was eating out of my plate. No, not there. Not there. At my sister's birthday.
At your sister's birthday.
You was eating out of my plate. And my father was just like, he mentioned it another time. He was just like, he was eating out of your plate. I was like,
now, I want people to understand, I don't just randomly eat out of people's plate unless it's been established that, hey, we're sharing food here, because I don't like people just randomly sticking their hands in my plate. So it was established that I could go into your plate at that particular time.
Yeah. But it was really so shocking to my dad. I'm like, yeah, he can eat out of my plate. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I just think you're wonderful. Okay. I wanted you to come on because you're in the health field and you did a commercial recently, kind of talking about, getting tested. I want to talk about that. I'm not going to necessarily tie you into your company or anything like that. We'll keep that vague, but we're just talking in general. There was one time that you was doing something with youth. Tell me about that, and then we'll kind of transition into the other part.
Okay, so I've been in health, like public health, probably since 2003. When I initially got started, I was working in a program that was an abstinence-based program, and I was doing like some after-school tutoring at that point in time. I was volunteering, turned into a job where I actually became the program manager of this organization. The grant that fell under expired, and there was a local organization that was in Camilla. They called me and was like, hey, so we know your grant ends tomorrow. We would like to know if you'd be interested in working for us. How do you know me? How do you know my grant's ending? And why would you ask me about working for your organization? Somebody that I've actually gone to school with in the contact who worked for the organization, and she was just like, I gave your information to my boss and was telling her that you need to be here. And I went with no intention of taking a job because the young lady I was dating at the time had just moved to Jacksonville, and I'm thinking I'm gonna move to Jacksonville, Florida. And so I'll go and just like, well, just come in and interview. You want a job, you take the job. And flash forward, end up getting trained in like several different abstinence curriculum. From that, getting trained in sex ed curriculum. From then until now, I do youth-based organizations throughout the state of Georgia that range from anything that deals with youth health, leadership, and things of that nature. And from that, I transitioned into a position that works with HIV and STD. So always my heart is for youth. So anytime I get a chance to do anything that's youth related, I enjoy it. I feel like that's my demographic, or one of them that I really get a chance to be myself in without a lot of pushback, for lack of a better word. A lot of times you just want people who are going to be honest with them, who are going to try to connect with them. And I feel like with the energy that you and I both have, that's something that we are able to do, that we're able to work with youth.
I do have such a passion for youth, like you said. That is definitely an area of my passion. I love elderly as well. So necessarily working with youth right now, like you're working just more so like with the public in general, or are you still?
Yeah, I'm still doing youth programs. Like yesterday, I started back doing some of the sex ed programs yesterday with a group in Clayton County. So I'm always have my hands involved with anything that's youth related. I mean, even with the HIV STD program that I work with, I am a public health educator, and I go to schools, whether it's middle, elementary, high school, colleges, and talk about different things that affect youth. So my demographic is primarily 13 to whatever, because they know that I'm youth centered. A lot of times they being the powers that be, they allow me to go into things that cater to youth as well.
That's awesome. Okay, so the youth, that's our next generation. What are your thoughts on youth? Because people talk about each generation gets worse and worse. And then even when we were coming up, our parents' generation was just like, these kids are so bad. So now as each generation comes, they get a bad rap. You working so closely with youth, what do you see? Do you see kids that just don't care, that don't have manners? Or do you see kids that are smarter, that their future will be bright? How do you see the youth now?
The lines in many cases can be kind of skewed because you've got a lot of kids who are, let's first break down that there are multiple intelligence. You've got that academic, you've got kinesthetic, you've got different types of intelligence. So where a student might not be versed in the book knowledge that's there, they might have an ability to achieve in a physical aspect or some other things. So just with that alone, the kids that we have now are so technologically advanced that they're able to do a lot of things. When we were their ages, we weren't able to do. The sad part is they are not being given the foundation in a way that they can utilize these skills in a productive way. So a lot of times you end up finding youth who end up taking these skills they have, and because there isn't a way to mentor them or show them how to better use these skills, they use them for the wrong reasons. They end up doing things that cause them to get into trouble, and in many cases end up getting records or other things. So, and I got to a point where I was, kind of starting to lump kids. Okay, people in this age group or this demographic is this, but that's not the case. You have a wide range of kids and ability levels. It's what and who has put the proper nurturing in place to actually get them to that next step and next stage. And I try to do those things, put myself in a position to try to steer young people in a way that they're going to do more positive things than negative things. Let them, acknowledge that, yeah, those negative things are there and they're going to always be those temptations, but you have to want to see something better for yourself, because a lot of times those negative things have a short turnaround on the outcome of those things.
It's funny you said that, because I used to be a substitute teacher. And what I realized is that when I'm subbing for kids that's in like what they call alternative school, or those kids one-on-one were good kids.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be loved. They wanted to be respected. They wanted somebody to believe in them. So that one-on-one, it's like, why are you in here? And even when I would see them outside of school at McDonald's or wherever it is, they would come up to me, they would talk to me. Now, these are kids that all of the other kids are afraid of or feel like they're bullies. But I'm like, you don't know what they're going through at home.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with their home life and why they respond the way they respond at school. They just want to be loved, And so that was a really big eye opener for me. And so I don't really look at kids as being bad kids.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no bad kids. They're misguided, misdirected.
Yeah.
So I really would love to see more kids with less labels and more nurturing and more guidance that, okay, well, what is it that's causing this child to respond this way?
Yeah.
Get to the root of why this child is acting that way. So I do love the fact that you're involved so heavily into kids. Substituting was my way of giving back, and then just kind of helping seniors that's graduating.
Yeah.
I love doing stuff like that, but like to figure out how I can do a little bit more. So hats off to you.